beet salad.
Beet salad. That's what my wife said. You're going to watch me make a beet salad? I said, why not?
Well, it's really about making the dressing.
Yeah.
And kind of showing you how to segment an orange. That's about it. Really. I'll show you a kind of kind of just the old microphone base.
Can we go with that microphone?
No.
Good afternoon, everybody. Doug Anderson here, Chef Dino Cruz. Going to throw together a beet salad today. This is one of the new salads on our new menu we launched a couple weeks ago. We've got a trilogy member here that's going to enjoy lunch as well and watch Dino demonstrate how to make our beet salad. So take it over, Chef.
All right. First things first, we're going to do the beets real quick. I'm going to stage the beets. I already have them all cut up and ready to go, but I just want to kind of demonstrate how we're gonna wrap them and all that stuff. Super simple. Really, it just kind of, if there's any tails going on here, just kind of cut the little bit of tails off. For the most part, they're pretty good. So we're just gonna cut the tails off real quickly here, and we're gonna give it a good scrub and a good wash. You can always play a trick on your coworker as well. Take a beet and hide it underneath the desk, and they'll think it's a mouse or something. That's always been kind of fun. Okay, so we got our beets. We're gonna wash them. Right in here. I'm making a large amount of beets because I'm also preparing it for tonight's dinner. We have red and gold, and then really simply just a little bit of olive oil and kosher salt. And then just a little bit of kosher salt there. Fresh ground black pepper. It's just kind of the fat from the oil just helps really do a good job of kind of steam roasting our beets inside the foil there. And then we're just going to kind of toss it up a little bit to get all that in there. And usually I'll just get one of these foil things here and possibly put these in the stir. So this is a good way to kind of get it done quickly. Don't need scissors or anything. And I like to use the shiny side of the foil. And we just take one and wrap it. And that's it for that. I'm going to do a few more just to kind of show you guys. So this really does a great job of keeping the beets while it's roasting, evenly cooking them. So it kind of holds that nice hot temperature pocket in there. So that is important. And also, I try to find the same size beet. So obviously, if you have a small beet and a larger beet, the smaller beet will cook a little bit quicker than a bigger beet. So you want to keep an eye on that. So with this batch, I tried to find the same size, but as you can see, sometimes it doesn't give you that opportunity, and you do have a smaller one and a bigger one. So you could roast them all in different pans, or you could just, pluck them out of there as they get done. So just kind of have it on a sheet pan, and we'll put it in the oven for, this is going to take about 45 minutes to an hour. And the best way to do it is to check it with a fork for tenderness. Or you feel free to peel one. And I'll do these ones later. All right. Usually about 375 degrees works great. About an hour. For the bigger ones, maybe about an hour and a half. But you just want to make sure you get them in oil, salt, and pepper, and individually wrap them. Okay? And then we're going to proceed to, and then magically we have some kind of ones ready to go that we just prepared earlier. So we're making the dressing citrus vinaigrette. It's a homemade dressing we're making. It's an emulsion dressing, which means we're trying to emulsify an acid with the fat. So the acid being, at this point, the juice from the oranges and a little bit of lemon juice. So in essence, it's kind of like an oil and vinegar, but we're not using the vinegar, we're using citrus. So I really like to use as much of the ingredients as I can. So I'm not going to just squeeze the oranges out of here and then not use the actual oranges themselves. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a segmented orange, how to segment the oranges. So really we cut that off. We cut the top and bottom off, so we have a nice flat surface. And we're just going to peel it out of there like so, cutting along the whites. We don't want any of the outer layer to be in there at all, so we want to make sure it's nice and all orange. The oranges will only get better as the season goes on. So this is a good time of the year. All the way through February for oranges. So they should be nice and plump and juicy. But so after we peel it off, we end up having something like this. And this is when I'm going to use the bowl and reserve the juice that's going to come out of there. Because that way we can utilize the juice to make our dressing. And then we do have a few extra in case we need more. But let's see here. So what I'm going to do is take my knife and just kind of slice these oranges into sections, but leaving out the chewy part, like the little white skin part there. So we're just really getting the meat of the orange. So sometimes it won't be as big. Obviously, because once you kind of get down to it, sometimes it's only going to be, half the size of the orange, because you really want to get in there and get just the flesh. And leave out the skin. So this is the fun part. It's a little relaxing for me, actually. We're using the oranges, and we're actually going to use the juice as well. So this gives our salad a nice, fresh ingredient. And then we kind of just squeeze the rest of the juice in there. We only need a 1/4 cup to make the batch of salad dressing that we want to make. So that's about, we're almost there with that little bit there. We'll do one more. So again, top, again, bottom. Just gonna go kind of curve it. Oops, messed up a little bit there. But you want to try and get it all in one slice. Just follow the white along. Take your knife and follow it along there. There we go. Now, I don't know where you can buy these ahead of time, because these are fresh segmented oranges. So it's kind of something that you do want to rather do at home. And because it's really that easy. Just peel off the sides, and now you have a nice sphere. And we're going to do it again. And really just slice in there until the little wedge of orange comes very juicy orange. But like I said, you can get what you can get. Sometimes it just doesn't come out. So, but as long as you have a few in there for your actual salad, you should be good. Okay. Be careful when you do this, obviously, but really the only way to kind of really do it is in your hand. Squeezing some of our juice in there. Okay. All right. Set our oranges right here. And then we have a measuring cup here for a quarter cup of the fresh squeezed oranges. Oh, we're like probably one orange shy there. So we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze an orange in there. Yeah, a little bit in there. Perfect. So in our bowl, we have an empty bowl. We're going to put our orange juice, quarter cup. Our fresh squeezed lemon juice, they squeezed earlier, quarter cup. And then we are going to put also a quarter cup of Dijon mustard. So this is a very simple emulsion dressing, pretty standard. Does not require egg, like a Caesar, for example. You know, this is pretty straight up oil and vinegar. We're using the Dijon mustard as a act as an emulsifier in helping us bind the citrus with the oil. Now, the last ingredient is the shallot. You can go ahead and put this in a food processor and really do it that way if you'd like, but we're going to just kind of hand mix our shallots, same way we do it with an onion, where we slice it and it's a fan and it's still stuck together. We're going to go this way. So I slice it that way, then that way, and it's going to be like magic, and we come down and it's just this perfectly minced product. You can even run your knife just a couple times there to really get it there. So when I mean minced, it needs to be as small as you can cut it. And once it sticks together, it kind of holds together. So 1 ounce of shallot there. We have salt and pepper. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon. And then some fresh ground black pepper. And make sure we have a nice, somewhat of a fine grind. And then we have our canola oil. So we're using canola oil for our dressing today. So this is not going to be like a perfect emulsion where, you know, it stays mixed together for a long period of time, because we're not, like I said, we don't have an egg to really get it emulsified like a tartar sauce or a Caesar. So, you know, it's something that we can just kind of stir before we serve. So we're going to whisk the citrus here while we're slowly adding the oil. So again, this is something that you can do in a food processor, but we are making such a small amount that I'm going to go ahead and do it in this bowl. So as you can see, the drizzle is nice and slow. And we're just kind of making sure it's not separating. And the mustard is doing a great job of that. So this will keep in the fridge for at least a week, up to a week if you have it in a nice airtight container. like I said, it doesn't have raw egg in it, so it's pretty shelf-stable. You just have to stir it a little bit if it does separate. It's almost like magic though when you're multiplying it, because then you're like, wow, where'd the oil go? Because it looks like a really nice, creamy dressing almost. So it is kind of a little bit like magic because it changes the texture, it changes the flavor. But always use fresh lemon juice and fresh orange juice. You don't ever want to use like the frozen orange juice or carton orange juice. Almost there. So this takes a little bit of work. And like I said, you can use a food processor, but this is a little bit more fun. And I haven't done one of these in a while, so maybe I'm a little rusty. Now we gotta switch to the other arm. Okay, so this is a very fall salad. Lots of fall ingredients. We got some candied spiced pecans. We have, fresh oranges. We have the root vegetables, the beets. But even though it's a fall salad, we line it up with the dressing here. And we are done. So just so you can see, over here, it's a nice and emulsified, right? So it looks like, all of a sudden, it looks like bottled dressing. And then you can just kind of pretend it is and say, yeah, I bought this at the Baltimore market, but just to show you guys the texture, so it really does look like a creamy dressing, even though there's no cream in it. It is a dairy-free dressing, and so we put the cheese on the salad. So we have that set aside, and now we're gonna build our salad. Well, I need to grab a plate real fast. Be right back. Okay, we're just gonna arrange our ingredients nicely in a bowl. We can serve the dressing on the side. So I do have some baby arugula here. Let's see. Ingredients. This is kind of another fun part. We'll just make it look all fancy. So I don't like to use too much arugula because it's more of like an accent. I mean, if you wanted to use it as a main base for a salad, you would have to mix it with like romaine and spinach. Because it's straight arugula, it does tend to get a little bit bitter. So we'll just have our segmented oranges there. So lots of color on this salad. Just trying to hand pick the really nice little segments here. So I just kind of fanned it around. So this salad's going to be all about presentation. So I like to alternate the colors a little bit. But, it needs a plentiful amount of beets. You gotta love beets if you're gonna have this salad, okay? If you don't love beets, it might not be a salad for you. Then we have a little bit of our candied pecans that we're just gonna sprinkle on there. Again, we want to place some, we don't want to just like a clump of candied pecans. A little bit of our cheese, we're using feta cheese. So this is just like the one in our menu. And I do like a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, kind of give it a little bit of pepper bite. And we can drizzle a little bit of our dressing around it, just to kind of maybe just instead of serving the dressing aside, you can kind of just drizzle it on there, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a cool look. All right, and that is how it's done. So now you guys can make your own citrus vinaigrette at home. This is the same exact recipe that we use here at the club, and as well as pretty much everything on the salad is how it comes. I'll write out the menu. And that's it. So I'm going to bring this up just for a quick close-up. Okay, so lots of color going on there. We have the red beets, the gold beets, the nice segmented oranges, and a little drizzle of the dressing, and then arugula at the bottom, little candied pecans, and feta cheese crumbles. All right. Thank you very much.